Good morning, explorers. We are up at the Soapstone Prairie natural area on the Colorado-Wyoming border, and as you can see this fine morning, it is really foggy. And it's my first time here, so I don't even know what's supposed to be out there, but that is okay. We are going to hang out, we're going to wait for the fog to lift, and we are going to see what we can find. Because honestly, it looks pretty cool. Even though right now, it's just a lot of fog. But while we wait, let's talk about Explore the Day. What is Explore the Day? I'm so glad you asked. Have you ever heard the saying, it's not the destination, it's the journey? Basically, that means that sometimes we are so focused on getting to the top of the mountain or to our destination that we forget to slow down and see all the really cool things that there are to see along the way. Which is where Explore the Day comes in. Explore the Day is basically a way to make ourselves slow down, take a minute, and use 4 out of our 5 senses, because we are not using taste in the wilderness, to explore the world around us. So, what do you see? What do you smell? What can you touch? And what do you hear? Right now, we're not seeing a lot, but once the fog clears, we're going to hit the trails and we're going to go explore. Let's go read a book while we wait. All right, explorers, that fog never did lift, so we had to call it a day and come back a different time. But we are back now, and we are ready to go explore the day. And let me tell you, this is not what I anticipated the view to look like, but it is gorgeous. Please hold. So we're going to hit this trail and see what there is to see. And don't forget, guys, anytime there's a sign that gives you some safety instructions, definitely follow it. You don't want to get the plague. All right, so the first sense that we are going to focus on is sight. So what do you see? And I'm up here at the Lindemeer Overlook at Soapstone. It's got a beautiful valley out in front. So I'm going to spend about a minute or two just focusing on what do I see. You really want to hone in on just the one sense at a time. Yeah, let's see what's out there. All right, we are back. I took about a minute or two, and I definitely noticed some stuff that I would not have seen otherwise. It's a little hard to see, but I will share pictures at the end. There's a herd of cattle out there in the valley that I definitely would have noticed if I had just kept hiking by. And then directly in front of me is this little eroded area, and it kind of looks like there might have been fossils in there, especially in this section over here, which is really interesting because once I looked around at the signs that's at this overlook, we do have the fact that this is a National Historic Landmark and it's one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century. There's a lot of really interesting stuff on the sign, and normally if I was focusing on just getting to the top or just getting to the summit, I probably would have hiked right on by and not known any of this. So there really is a lot to learn and see if you just take a minute and check out what's around you. So we're going to hike up the trail, back that away, and focus on what do we hear. All right, we're now hiking on the Toey Loop Trail. We're gonna stop right here and just listen. I like to close my eyes when I do this so that I'm not tempted to focus on what I see instead of what I hear. It's a little harder to get pictures of things that you hear, but take a minute or two, just listen to the sounds around you. It's a little hard to hear over the wind kind of blowing in the microphone, but you can also hear the wind rustling through these bushes and kind of like a rattling effect. And I'll share pictures of kind of the things that I think I heard or what they might have been that was making that noise. But we're going to head up the trail and see what we can touch. All right, I had to follow my own kind of instructions because I was so excited to get to the top, which is over there, that I stopped paying attention to what is around me. So we're going to stop here and we're going to do what can I feel. And this one differs greatly depending on where you are. If there are things you can touch, like if I'm near a big tree with cool bark, I might press my hand against the bark. Here, not as many things. We do have to keep an eye out for cactus and rattlers, but I'm just going to park it right here on the trail with an amazing view down the valley, sit for a few minutes and see what I feel. So this was an interesting one because I definitely feel the rocks under my butt, which is fine, but I also feel like the brush of the plants that are next to me kind of hitting up against my leg. And at one point I leaned over and like kind of put my hand down, and these rocks that are in the sunshine versus the shade are really hot. And it kind of felt cool to feel like the little individual rocks and like their different kind of surfaces. Like this one is really, really rough. This one super, super smooth, but they're sitting right next to each other. And I definitely would not have been able to feel those differences if I had just been hiking. I can't feel that through my shoes. All right, breath caught. We're gonna get up to the top and we're gonna do what can I smell? Which is an interesting one. So let's do it. Time out to admire the view. All right, we are at the top. Views that I was not expecting, because we've got the mountains off on that side, to Rocky Mountains, fully just the plains over here, and then in the distance, I don't know if I'm aimed quite right, you can kind of see a wind farm, and then absolute flatness that way. This is kind of what the foothills of northern Colorado is, friends, right on the Wyoming border. Mountains one way, nothing but flat the other way. We're gonna find a spot to sit. We're gonna sit for 2 minutes, close my eyes, and really just focus on what do I smell. Let's do it. Gotta be honest, I had to really focus on what I was smelling up here because there's not a lot of variety, to say the least, but somewhere in here there's sage. I can smell it if I concentrate and really try to like isolate what I'm smelling. And then I'm one of the people that can smell the rain. I know that's not an everybody thing, but I can smell it coming. And once I open my eyes, I look back over. It's a little bit closer, but it's also running down the entire edge of the foothills and the front range. And then dirt, like fresh dirt. That is what I smell. So we're gonna start walking down so that we beat the rain, especially because the whole way back is a beautiful dirt road, but a dirt road nonetheless. And that's pretty much how Explore the Day works. You can do a couple different things. When I'm out hiking, like to take pictures or videos of the things that I see, I hear, I smell, and I can touch. And then I make videos out of them. If you want to see those, they are on the Tangled Tree Learning YouTube page under Explore the Day. I've gone several different places, a lot of northern Colorado and Wyoming, because that is where I live. But those are out there, and I found that if I focus enough, I notice things that I never would have noticed before. The other way you can do it, if you're not a pictures person, bring a little journal. Write down all the things you see, you hear, you smell, you can touch. If you taste something, don't recommend it, but stranger things have happened. All of those things can be written down and kept for memories. I'm someone who has a chronic illness. I have mixed connective tissue disorder. About 6 years ago, I was running ultras all over the mountains, trails, whatnot, and then, like for many people, COVID hit, and suddenly I could not walk up a flight of stairs. The mixed connective tissue disorder just flared like crazy, and I had to figure out different ways to enjoy nature and to enjoy the wilderness. And this has been a way to get me to consciously slow down and notice things that I would have missed if I was just trucking along and running. I gotta say, it's pretty nice. So that's Explore the Day. I hope everyone has great adventures out there. If you're ever out my way in northern Colorado, greater Yellowstone area, the Tetons, hit me up. I'm always happy to come on another adventure. Happy exploring, friends. That's it for today's trail on Explore the Day with Tabs. Keep your eyes open and your curiosity wild. Like and subscribe for more bite-sized nature adventures. We'll see you out there on the next trail.